All right.
Honorable.
Blessed love, royal family.
Blessed love.
Blessed love, my Lord.
Yes, I give thanks for life and the mighty life giver, Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Yes, honorable royal family, welcome to the first of many, international study group on behalf of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. Tonight should be, it's the first one, so we'll see how it goes, but we have a lot in store still, and we give thanks for everyone who's here with us right now, and we give thanks for everyone who's watching, at a different time, same way, because this is recorded and is streaming on YouTube. So we'll just open it up with a prayer from the Honorable Priest Alonzo. My Lord, go through. Thanks.
My God. Honorable. Glory be to our Father, and to the Son, and the Holy One of creation. As Jah was in the beginning, now and ever shall be, Jah will without end. Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Behold how good now present it is for brethren and sistren to dwell within love and unity. That's the precious ointment that ran down the beards, even Aaron's beard that went down to the skirt of his garment. The dew of Hermon as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord command the blessing, even life forevermore, most high. Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. What the gathering, our happy home of love, what the gathering, and our summer land of love. I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Majesty. Honorable, blessed love.
My Lord, give thanks. Yeah. So just a few guidelines, as we are, present here in the Zoom meeting. We'd just like everyone to keep the background noise to a minimum, pay attention to whether your mic is muted or unmuted. If your mic is unmuted, then try and keep the talking and noise to a minimum, please. It becomes a distraction to the speaker. And also, we will have the Honorable Priest will present his topic and share reasoning and culturing. And then we'll open it up for everyone to reason together. And then after the reasoning, we'll have, question and answer period. If anybody needed any, thing answered or they have any concerns, the floor will be open. And then we have another presenter with another topic and, order where he will present and then we'll reason and then question and answer. And that'll be it for the program. So yes, if you have a question, just hold firm. You can even send it in the chat. And then whenever the question and answer period, the question will be answered according to how they come, first serve. So at this point, I'll turn it over to the Honorable Priest Alonzo. My Lord, thanks again for your presence, and we look forward to what you're.
My Lord, blessed love, my Lord and Empress, Prince and Princess. Give thanks, Honorable Daniel, for even creating such, platforms so I and I can come together and bring the great minds together, and share our I thoughts to move forward, that I still. So I give thanks, my Lord, that I was setting such program, for I and I out there who maybe don't have, I wouldn't say don't have the resources, but don't maybe know how to do it, So you give thanks, for that, taking the time and effort, even bring I and I together and such, great accomplishment still. It's an accomplishment, this ain't a failure still,
Thanks, my Lord.
Blessed love.
Blessed love.
Yeah, so the topic is how to preserve, King Manuel order without watering it down, how to keep it alive and even advance it, but still not, desecrating it at the same time. I give thanks. I give thanks, for the might life giver and preserve and keep up life still. So I wouldn't say my problem, but the main thing I see out in the world here today is, enough ones take this order lightly, they take it very lightly. And this tradition here, we're just borrowing this still, King Manuel loaned it to us, so we can't do what we want within his house, It's like someone invite you into their home and they told you, all right, you could come into my home, but these are the requirements, these are the laws that I hold inside my house. Like you can't go in certain people's house with your shoes on or stuff like that. You gotta take your shoes off. Or some will maybe come with a drink, like a beer bottle in their hand, and you'll be like, you know what, you could come inside, but you gotta leave the beer bottle outside, that type of way. So it's the same sad way with King Manuel House, we taught I that how to live in his way. So one come into his house and seek to change it and thinking they're doing something good or trying to better it, they basically water it down for those behind us who want to come and get the fullness of what the mind is all about. So it's very important for I to keep the tradition pure without contamination, So I give thanks, King Manuel, who come and teach I and I as little children, little children lost Babylon, The man say we must be born again, from the white man ways, born again from colonial, born again from, things that it's pertaining to the world of sin, wrongdoing. So, give thanks. Even with like 2006, that's when I fully come to Bobo Ashanti, and I was fortunate enough to really build up on the powerful Empress, them like Empress Lily, Priest Shani and Priest Zavalon, Priest Blyden, and Empress Lily carried me to the foundation 2010. So 2010 carried me to get the fullness there, because not for the other branches, they have the order there, they have the basics. But when you go to the foundation, it's just different. It's just different still, and you will get more than what you will get to the other branches. So me going to the foundation, I start to get the fullness, the Friday night service, the full order of services, even through the weekday services going through. Priest Morgan had a service where we came off a roll call. We went the house service, like visiting Empress them who can't move or maybe, afflicted, and go and visit the homes and care for the service and care, some fruits and some little blessings still to show them, we appreciate love them. Also, going there, I learned more than what I saw here, So where I could come and help the Bahamas to even better it, because enough of the ones that come in here, enough of the prophets I'm here, they say they never catch a Friday night service. But I was fortunate enough to catch it here in the Bahamas, So That's what I mean by you don't want to water it down. You don't want certain things to be forgotten. You know? So that's why I feel like this topic is very important, you know, and you have individuals that they feel like they don't even use the Bible anymore, as Bobo Ashanti, you know, and King Manuel come with Bible in him book. You understand? So you can't say you of the EABIC and then you want to take away the Bible, or you want to take away, or you want to add certain days from Babylon, you know, them type of thing there, you know. So it's very important for I and I to even have elders, you know, participating in such platforms to give I and I the fullness how this order should run. You know, because I still have a lot to learn. You know, I still have a lot to learn, and I'm always humble, you know, to even take correction and learn more. Because I know it's much more to learn in this order, you know, what King Manuel said. You know, even like the justice box, you know, for the Empress them to come and declare certain injustice and certain wrongs they see going on within the Congress. The justice box is there, not only for the Empress them, for prophets who can't go on the altars yet. You know, they could even go onto the justice box and give a word to the congregation of what they see going on, or what should, you know, take place to better the Congress. So even that, I never saw it before, but it'll be a glory to see the justice box come forward within the tabernacle, you know, to even see what the Empress them, hear what the Empress them have to say, you know, about a lot of things that are going on. You know, we can't just voice our opinions and just shut the queens them out. You know? So the father set the Empress League so the Empress them could have a voice, you know, and not only a voice, but they could really execute too, because he said with all things should be rectified within the Empress League to bring back the family, you know, into one heart of salvation. So the Empress them play a great role. He say when we go marching out there to agitate, put the Empress and children up front. So the Empress and little ones play a humongous part within the Congress, you know. So we got to bring forward the queens them up front, same way, you know, empower them and bring forth the justice box, you know. So all these things, you know, we don't want to water down. We don't want these things to vanish away. You know, we want to reestablish these settings for King Manuel already set, you know. So and that's my concern, you know. And like I was saying earlier about we're just borrowing this robe of flesh. We're just borrowing the turbine, the robe. The Empress them is just borrowing the fallen skirt from Empress Menen. So say that to say this, we can't do what we please under the man image. You know, we can't put on his turbine and then we want to say we're going to pollute the Sabbath. We're going to work on the Sabbath or do as we please on the Sabbath. And the Sabbath is the foundation of the Congress. That's the main engine that keeps the Congress last. You know, a lot, the governmental, the statical, and the parliamental field is very important to this Congress. But the sabbatical field and the churchical field is what brings us our blessing to move forward to the governmental and the statical, you know. So before it was physical, it was spiritual, you know. So we have to build forward our spiritual power, our spiritual understanding of this Congress, so we could be able to get a blessing in the physical realm, you know. So the Sabbath is the foundation, and you know we have to come forward to that reverence for the Sabbath, you know, taking the Sabbath more serious, you know. When I was on the hill, you know, Friday night, all our electronic devices would lock off. Now I see electronic devices all in the service on Sabbath now. So, you know, all these things. I mean, one to say it's a perfection, you know, where you could catch certain Sabbath service so the world could see online or on or whatever like that. Yes, but that's what we have celebrations for, you know, that falls on other days. But the Sabbath is more where you lock away from all them things there, you know. And that's what I learned going to the foundation in my time, you know. And the elders them who I, you know, sit up under, they say, Jal throw a white cloth over the TV, the radio, anything electrical, Jal throw a white cloth over it. I mean, you done with that for the Sabbath until Sabbath over, you know?
True, my Lord. True, Bobo. True.
So all these things, that's why I say, you know, like a water down.
Yes.
When we teach them, use them, that, all right, it's okay to, you know, have your tablet and you know, use electronic devices, go in service on Sabbath, do your video and whatever. It is not okay.
No.
No, you know, yeah, man. So, yeah, you have to bring forward that pureness, you know.
True. True, my Lord.
So it is up to I and item, you know, and you know, the elders them still here who sit with the man, you know, to declare, you know, such truth still, you know, that these things are good, you know. Yeah, man. So we have to just, you know, keep the thing alive, man, keep the thing strong. So that the future generation behind I and item can have something to hold on to, you know.
Truly.
We start taking things off, then they don't have nothing to hold on to. It's just like they'll be like just like people out there. You know, so then so when you see they start cooking and all on Sabbath. You know? Yeah, man. Thinking it's okay to cook on Sabbath and them thing there, you know? Yeah, man. So, you know, we have to come forward to the divine livity, man. You know? And make Jah proud, you know? You know, we gotta keep him proud, man. We see I and I am living up to his standard that make him proud, you know? Make him happy, you know? So yeah, so when I say we just borrowing this, like if you see the police them out there on the road there, when you see they get their badge and they get their crown from the queen, that is the sergeant or whatever like that, they can't really go and do what they please under the queen crown. I mean, you get crooked cops, you get crooked police them and things, but if the head they get a judgment, they get they badge take. You see, I saying they get fired or whatever it is. But I and them, that's the same thing with King Money. We can't put on his crown, put on his garments, and do what we please. You know, and then celebrating Babylon holidays and things. You know, we can't do them things. Then taking part in politics. We get bored. Want to be in politics now too. You know, and think it's okay. You know, think it's all right, and they think that's a change. That's not a change. That's when you go take part in politics in Babylon, you got to swear your allegiance to the queen before you get swear. Yeah, you know, any politician, when they get swearing as a candidate or whatever, they got to put their hand on the Bible and swear they oath to the queen, not to the people. You know, so the ex world, you know. So Bobo Ashanti shouldn't take part in politics still, you know?
Yes, my Lord.
And so give thanks, you know, for the onset and still.
My Lord. So if you finish with your presentation, it's open for reasoning. If anybody had anything they wanted to add or regarding that subject, you know, the floor is open.
Yes, my Lord. Blessed love royal priest and prophet, you know, strength back empresses too. You know, we give thanks again, you know, as we get together to reason upon, you know, foundation, you know, reason upon ourselves, build ourselves back to our right, you know, we give thanks to this. the program here that the honorable prophet, drawn up, yes, so we can even reason. One can testify when them come to the foundation, what them did see and what is happening now, two different things. So we give thanks to the word of the honorable, whether he's priest or prophet, give thanks. There are little things there too. When he said that we will borrow the robe, the turban and robe, no, we work for it. We are working for our mansion, our robes and our crown. You see, because we don't want to borrow it because we don't want to give it back. You see, so in that way, then we have to work for it. So we give thanks again, for that. And the priest or the prophet say on Friday night and Fridays, when we are tidying up our house, we throw a white over all TV or radio or anything like that, and that we don't use on Saturday. Now, when I come to the foundation, there were one time you could wear if you have on ring, you could wear your ring going there. You could wear your slanders and things. So we used to dress up on Sabbath morning in our slanders and socks and thing and looking very pretty, going to service until about a year out after this honorable brethren come from Africa. And when he entered to the tabernacle door, he take off his slanders. Oh, that was something else. And then he said, "This the ground that I am standing on is a holy ground." So when the brethren them hear the gentleman who come from Africa utter that, they go and tell the father and say, "Look at that. The man take off his slanders or his shoes and say the ground that he's standing on is an holy ground." So from that, the end that I say, no more slanders in service. So we just have to wear with socks, and we went and go to service. And the next thing too, the only thing that we could wear in service is just your watch. And the reason being is just to tell the time. So now that we see all kind of thing moving into the service, all bag, and we see phone, camera, and all kind of thing. No, it never used to be like that. So as the brethren said, enough things is watering down. And we need to, we need to just start, live up back to the principle, man, of Father Moses. See, what we never used to do when he was here, don't do it now. Continue on the work and the principle that the Father set and left, But one's just doing it how they want to do it, my Lord. And, so I have to strengthen back the brethren. I give thanks for his word, And while he was speaking, I have to be shaking my head and say, "True, my brother, true." So it's good for a young one could come and see it for themselves, And so they can tell it to the world how Bobo can and the principles used to be. My Lord, give thanks.
Blessed love. Yes.
Honorable.
Well, yes, honorable. Give thanks, Empress Maisie.
Yes, my Lord.
The perspective of someone who's been there, and seeing how it used to be to what it is now. I had a question, or I mean, not really a question, but just thoughts. Like as I was reasoning, it's like, all right. So now that we have, different technology and things like how we're here on Zoom, this is something that wouldn't have been done, 10 years, much less 30 years ago. So how do we maintain said purity and certain, principles, but still be modern and keep up with the time and use the technology for good, Like where is the line drawn?
My Lord, man, so there's a time and place for everything, right? During on Sabbath, like on Sabbath, where is, are just the members and there's no activity like a celebration or anything, then naturally we wouldn't bother for carrying the phone thing, right? Right? But if there's a celebration, my Lord, or anything is going on, naturally you need to take the service, as the brethren say, you need to take the service or record the service. Naturally, I mean, there will be a space for that. That you would have to ask the leading priest, and the leading priest will say, all right, go ahead, my Lord. But everybody right now, Bobo, is just carrying in their device. They're just carrying their phone, and so on and so on. You see, it in 2007, when we had this big celebration, 49 years anniversary, and lots of brethren were came for the Sabbath and came for the celebration, and think it was first time I'd seen we. And my Lord, them did have a freedom. Them have a freedom. Yes, them ask, and we discuss it, and we say, all right, them have a freedom. We could take the service, so the world could see what Bobo service go. Yeah, understand, my Lord. Yeah, but for every time then just bring in them phone like it's nothing now. Nothing now for us carrying the device. It's not a purpose. You just carry it in because you want to carry it in and thing. No, it wasn't like that, Bobo. Yeah, you have some people will put them phone on the window of the because they want to record the service. So they will put the phone on the window, so that it could record all of that. So I'm saying, yeah, one can do that, but my life just come in at the tabernacle with it. It wasn't so, my life. It wasn't so. But as I said, there are time and space for everything. Freedom have to be given, Bobo. Freedom have to be given from the Father. So freedom will still have to be given to a one who want to take the service, want to film the service for a purpose.
Who would give such freedom? Who would grant that?
Well, you have the elders them there, or the leading priest. Remember, the leading priest is the one that governing in service. And if him say him don't want it, then him just don't want it in there. And you can't do nothing because the priest say him don't want it, right? But from the leading priest say, all right, you're free. Then him give you the, remember, him a share the ship, right? I'm the captain for the ship, right? And whatever him say, I that go. If him don't want a man to play a music, and him say, no, you can't play, because him the captain and whatever him say go. So if we are do this thing in a principle, right? I'll do it for God. Because our Father is a principle man, right? And whatever that I do, I say it's in principle. Uprightness, one to another. You see. So if you want to take the service and you say, all right, priest, leave it to the priest, whatever, and tell him whatever. And he feel like say, all right, my Lord, go ahead. Then it's okay. But if him say no, then you just have to hold that too. And say no, I don't want it in that service, my Lord.
Yeah, thanks. Yes, So if anyone is just tuning in, Honorable Priest Alonzo was culturing earlier about the fact that the priesthood, the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, is becoming kind of watered down in certain ways. Especially he emphasized on the Sabbath. There are certain things that ones wouldn't have been doing. When King Emmanuel was around, now they're doing, like, for instance, bringing phones and devices inside the tabernacle during Sabbath and stuff like that. And so Empress Maisie was given a clearance, to say that, yes, that is how it used to be, a certain way, and now is not so much the same way. But, there is some leeway if you can, get a clearance from the leading priest, on it. This is just regarding the Sabbath day, and filming and stuff. But Honorable Priest Alonzo did mention the justice box. What exactly is the justice box? And what purpose did it serve, and how is it used?
Must I answer that one, or someone gonna answer, my Lord?
Anyone who knows.
All right. Yes, my Lord. When I came to the foundation, there was a justice box there. Now the justice box, you know, you have the altar and the justice box, right? So you know, I said just priest alone go up on the altar. See? And you have honorable prophet them now. We can't go up on the altar. And you have the sisters them way, same way. So the father make the box, you know that when time reasoning time, you know, even one promoter road too could come in and use the box. When reasoning time, my Lord, you find out that the prophet would use the box, you know, and read, and even lead, even priests too, because some priests up on the altar, they are priests of the congregation. So the box was used by prophet, priest, and empress. And is it into the box now, they will stand up and give their reasoning, my Lord.
Okay.
You see, but the justice box was there for the sisters them to have their talk.
And when did it stop being used? What happened to it?
Well, the justice stand in 1988 when Gilbert passes through, my Lord, and you find out that the tabernacle they blow down. The justice box also mashed up, my Lord.
Okay.
And from that,
Remember.
No. As that they remind me now that I never out of a justice box. But even when Gilbert did pass, justice box did bill over, right? Yes. But it's when the last time now, like Ivan, after that are gone. And the tabernacle they blow down, so the justice box get damaged. I think, and it don't make over yet, my Lord. You know? So that's why the justice box is not there yet. And it should be there, my Lord.
So, so all it would take is
I have to agitate for the justice box, read for bill.
So all somebody have to do is just build it?
Yeah, that's all them have to do is to buy the material and build it, Bobo. Like make out a board.
Okay.
My Lord.
Yeah.
So could there be like an international justice box? Is that possible? You know what I mean? Because everybody don't live in the camp, but we
No, everybody
go through.
Where would you put that one, my Lord?
Well, I mean, just like, you know, of course it wouldn't be a physical thing, but like just
some international justice box now,
Appreciate say. Well, appreciate say, well, you're on the international justice box here, no, Daniel.
Like an email address, like if somebody had like a problem or something, say there should be like some like in the camp that could take down those, you know, those words and deal with it and present some type of justice.
Daniel, you kind of broke up there, Bobo.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, in your my Lord. Say it again for me, you know.
I was saying there was like an email or something that people could send in their grievances or complaints to where coming to the foundation, and people, the ones on the foundation are reading them and sorting it out and giving a word to bring about justice. Because as it is now, I don't see any way for one-to-one.
Okay, I see where you're there. I see where you're going there, Daniel. I wanted to make them make a way or whether priests are, you know, would have to make a way so that the complaint, you know, would come into them. Say, all right, with the Daniel would have to be our international justice back. So every complaint or the complaint that we find, well, we have to go send it up to Daniel because of him angle that scene. You see, my lad, it's a way they know, you know. Yeah, but you'd have to have an individual, or not even one, but 2 or 3, you know, individual who could angle that scene.
Ready. Royal family.
Bless it, my Lord.
Royal Majesty. This is why the father, before he had left a parliament, Royal Majesty. Because you would have the Minister of Justice to deal with that department.
Oh.
All right. So it all comes forward again to the parliament needing to be
most natural, beloved.
yeah.
Governing structure of the foundation.
Mhm.
And the parliament make committees.
I'll close my mouth on that one, but yeah,
What I'm saying, though?
You close your mouth on that one.
All right, John Daniel. Me
Yeah, myself.
understand you.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
No,
yeah, the next presenter is Priest Dougie. Honorable Priest Dougie, are you ready, my lord? And I guess before he starts, was there anyone else that wanted to say anything or ask any questions regarding what Priest Alonzo brought forward? Anybody, if you have a question, just you can either raise your hand and I'll call on you, or you can just open your unmute and say what you have to say.
Yes, my lord. Blessed love, royal family.
My lord.
Blessed love.
Yes. Yes, honorable peace. Give thanks for the culture and down setting. I wanted to ask. I remember hearing that I stated when ones get to the continent, get to Africa, then we should dash away the Bible.
Hmm.
Is that true? Well, that's something I just heard.
Anybody have an answer?
Oh, Royal Majesty.
My lord.
No, give thanks.
Mhm.
No, I personally, Royal Majesty, is the one who anything I don't really hear come out of the Father mouth, you know. I kind of don't really talk after people a certain way, because a lot of things I hear brethren say over the years, and when you really search it out keenly, you don't really go that way, you know. A lot of ones come up with their own type of meditation to make it sound nice and all of these things, you know. I never really hear the Father say that. Same going, I hear the culture still in earlier time that at the time of redemption, when we're going home, we will throw it in the river Euphrates and say thus to Babylon, you know. But I personally never hear that I say that.
Oh.
Just like how I hear man say, Jah crucify our mother right bridge. I never hear that I say that.
Oh.
You see it? So it's not everything I really take up over the years, beloved. I seek truth.
Give thanks, my lord. We had a comment from Honorable Priest Jesus. He said, "Up, priest head." He endorsed what you just said. And that's his father. I think you might know.
Lord, give thanks for the glory.
Repeat himself now.
Beloved, come again. I didn't get that
Daniel.
clearly.
I say, give thanks for the clearance, my Lord. Honor and glorify.
Yes, beloved. Honorable Prophet Daniel said something about Priest Jesus.
Yes, Honorable Priest Jesus, he's in agreement with what you said. He said, "Up, Priest Headley."
Okay, give thanks, beloved. Give, because him know.
Yeah. True. Well, yeah, that's I had heard that several times myself, so give thanks, you know.
Honorable Daniel.
My lord.
I have a question for Priest Hadley.
Go through
Yeah.
Royal Majesty.
Yes, with the crowning of with the turban, right? When
Yes,
that
beloved.
first meet that up on did the protocol of like the priest them crowning the prophets them with the psalms and the turban back then, or it's just come?
Come again, beloved.
He asked back in the day. Go through. I'll let him say it again. Go ahead,
back in the day when I first come and meet the father, the father had it set up where I could get your turbine with a priest and the psalms over the ceiling up and everything, or just come about?
Yes, beloved. You see, our Father really is Melchizedek, you know, who come with a divine order. So everything the Father done is done within an order, beloved. You know, so it is done right. It is done by an order, the psalm reading, you know, another priest is tying a turban and all of that. Everything is done within an order, my brethren, or it is out of order.
Truly. Give thanks.
Cool. Give thanks. Any other questions, concerns, you know, before we go forward to the next presenter?
During the week, so I have to clear that one. When him say we are going to also serving. What is on Sabbath? Yeah, my lord, go ahead. I just was trying to remember a point that John just said about when him say we would go to also service. That's what he did say, Daniel.
Prince Alonzo, you can speak for yourself, my lord.
No, truly.
During the week, Bobo?
True divine empress, yes.
No, well, that was on Sabbath, my lord.
No, that was on a Sabbath. That was on a Monday. That was a Monday fasting.
Oh, it's like they would have a prayer meeting different for some.
Is that a prayer meeting, Bobo?
No, that was after roll call. We after coming off a roll call, we went to I forget the empress name, but we saying you can't go to Zion without salvation. To Empress Gates, and then we go to walking care of a service there.
Okay, that
is
the
good. All right, my lord, give thanks.
Monday fasting service.
You
all
move
right,
straight
Bobo.
on the roll call. Yes.
Give thanks.
In front of our gates.
Yes, beloved.
All right, my lord, give thanks, Bobo. Yes, sire.
That's it. True.
You know, differently we had, there was a period when we had house to house service differently on Sabbath.
Oh, on Sabbath.
Right, it was Sabbath, you know. The service started in the tabernacle and move from houses to houses, and then it go and seal up forward in the tabernacle.
Powers.
Yes. So you will be at your gates and you just see the God coming and the service coming and the hymn singing and coming straight to your gates, my Lord.
Oh,
and you have to just open up everywhere, and you just full up and brethren and sisters, and we sing, and then we just read our psalms from there, so sing a hymn and move to our next gates until we seal up forward in the tabernacle.
Beautiful days.
What a sweet feeling,
it's really a shame, you know. No, I mean, the fact that I ain't experienced some type of things, you know. Like I wonder what could we do to really get certain things back in order, because I mean, as far as like preserving the purity and everything, all of that is part of the order, and most of it doesn't happen. So all I can think of is that more people need to live on the hill in order for that to really be able to function that way.
Oh yes, beloved, all of that will happen again, beloved. You see, what I and I must remember, my Lord, is that the Father set a foundation. It is called redemption ground, meaning a gathering ground. It is also called Bobo Hill, a whole hillside full of people called Bobo Ashanti wearing turban, a righteous royal generation of people, you know, living from this hill to Africa, my Lord. So this hill is where all saints must gather, my Lord, so that all these functions can be done here, to leave from here to home. We have a place where at Jerusalem schoolroom, right? Where we all must come and learn forward the divine order of Melchizedek, you know, in righteousness of salvation, to return home, my Lord. Because the man showed us that the ways that we have now, we cannot return with it. And this is why even brethren that went to Africa, the ways that they got there with, because the Father did tell them to change first, you know, my brethren. Because when you go to Africa now, everyone is looking to you. Just like our brothers and sisters are there now looking, they even want to come down into the West to the things they hear about down here, right? And not knowing that they should be lobbying for us to come home because Africa awaits its creators.
So, my Lord, and this is for the Empress Maisie and Priest Headley, and any other one that's on here that has been around for, you know, from them times until now. I just have a question, like, what other programs did y'all have going on? Like, say, because I heard that you used to go to visit like and hospitals and things like that. So what other type of ministry to the rest of the community did y'all do back?
That you're breaking up there, beloved. I don't get you clearly.
All right. I was asking, can you hear me clearly?
I'm hearing you now.
All right. I was asking, back in those days, I heard that you used to go to, say, like the jail and visit the inmates and go to the hospitals and things like that. What other types of outreach did, you know, the Bobo Ashanti house do in over years?
We used to go to do things.
Yeah, remember this last year before the pandemic, my Lord blessed love. Yeah, we used to go by the prison at the street there, and we used to visit and keep service into the prison every like one Wednesday in a month, you know. But because of the pandemic, you know, we that kind of not going on anymore. And we used to go out and keep service and thing, you know. And when we have march to my Lord every first of August, we go out there and we march, you know, we keep bingy, you know, all of that, my Lord. And then every Sunday too, when the Father was here, we used to have a radio program, you know, where priests would read letters and things over the airways, you know. That was a part of our outreach to my Lord.
Okay, give thanks.
Yeah.
And we also used to take the bingy on the road, you know, beloved.
Okay.
You know? Yes, you know. As the Empress said, that I used to have the radio program on the Sundays, you know, to, yes, you know, uplift, you know, Israel, you know, and to really, you know, bring forward the truth to, you know, people, you know. Because really, you know, beloved.
I hear from that we used to go out with letters every day.
And you know that always sending letters, you know, delegations always going out, you know, because we had our own printry and thing. Beloved, we need people that the Congress can function, beloved.
True.
Because we have 32 ministries and right now none of them not functioning, not active.
All right. Yes, my Lord. Well, Honorable Priest Dougie was go on, but I don't think he's having a good time. He was going to talk about Black liberation theology, but if anyone else, like say,
greetings. Greetings in the name of the Most High, Emperor King Selassie, Emperor Emmanuel, Emperor Marcus, Sheila.
Selassie, Jah, Rastafari.
You'll still be able to talk. Give thanks to the words of Honorable Priest Headley, you know, talking of all those works, you know, and whatsoever we can do. So all we can go about setting those things together, you know, as what Priest Headley speak of. You know, we know that the Father used to send letter every Sunday to read on the radio to gather the nation, you know, and there's a lot of fight. You know, the radio station never want to read letters some of the time, so the father withdraw, you know, and start print his pamphlet. You know, so Marcus Garvey printer, you know, was always open. You know, and every priest Turks was the man, you know, in the printer office. You know, so we are here, and there are a lot of printers here around the world. So whatsoever we, you know, can do for my Lord, let us do it. Set the Most High. See ya.
All right. Yeah, so the printer, another thing. Give thanks, my Lord. Yeah, since Priest Dougie isn't on, you know, I would just ask that any of the leading priests or even the Empress, you know, if you have anything that you could just teach regarding the subject of, you know, the priest brought forward the concept that the culture is becoming watered down, and some of the things that used to exist are, you know, we're not seeing them anymore. So is there any
pardon me.
Go through
the
my
culture cannot water down. The people watering down. The culture has remained the same, but the people them water down themselves and try to mix the culture in that water down. So we have to uplift ourselves and uplift the culture.
True, my Lord.
Reality.
Glorify. Well, yeah. You can. I mean, the floor is open. I don't really, because Priest Dougie was gonna come on, but he's not available right now. So, if there's any other reason,
well, Priest Dougie them wore the Congress a lot. You know, cause they're printing book, you know, pertaining the Congress letterhead and all from the Congress, and the Congress don't get no donation. Man can get even so, you know, for things what they do with the Congress. So man have to know what they're doing in this time. You know, because the Congress is the root, and the branch them cannot stronger than the root. If the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? You know, so no one could never destroy the foundation. That's what them tell us that, you know, don't give man with a loophole out of the country. Because if him get a loophole, he judge everyone. The man have more than a loophole. Because the man have Africa and I man world I hear Bobo. You know, and the man said the greatest teaching where Bobo can teach the world is love. You know, so all we love ourselves, and we say we love God, and we place not upright. All the branches them better than the foundation, and we say we love Emmanuel. So all of the people who have the branches them over the world to sit it as the foundation come up, and the members them who in Jamaica to sit it and strengthen. That's no one don't get hurt in the foundation when them attend by bad man or whosoever them friend who they have set up in Jamaica. Set the Most High.
My Lord, so Honorable Priest Justice. So without the proper infrastructure to receive any donation or any, you know, money coming in from, say, books and things that's been printed and sold in the name of the EABIC.
Well, that is there.
You know, what can really...
We have people there can receive donation. You have an recycle there. Those men are businessmen. They have their juice business. No, they can receive donation. Our priest Par there, Priest Yui. There are men in the Congress who the salvation people they have to use to do their work. Just like any man who afraid of salvation, him afraid of them. So the man them who is not there for salvation, they are robber and thief. Who is there for salvation will see that the work go on. Set the Most High.
True, my Lord. Well, yeah, I would just say, you know, the people, from what I gather from talking to ones and ones, is like, nobody really wants to send their money to somebody or to an organization where they don't have like a proper protocol for like even showing where the money is being spent or how much money has been sent, and you know, them type of things. So it's like,
pardon me again. Well, I am the living president at this moment in my father's seat. So if a man have something to donate to Congress, let I know about it. And from I know about it, it will be directed. I will direct it even from here, out of my house. and it have to go as so I said it to go. Set the most time.
Judge Daniel.
Yes, Honorable.
I even have to say, the people sending money must take responsibility, because there's a lot of ones that strengthen Bobo on the foundation, like their personal friend them, you understand?
Yeah,
And then they say they're centering the Congress. You're not. When you send money to a man, you know, who you may have stayed with in the yard, in the camp, you understand? And you send him a personal money, and you're not strengthening the camp. And a lot of men in foreign think that they're strengthening the camp. You don't. A lot of men are strengthening their friend and company, you know. And the people sending money must take responsibility to know what you are doing, you know. You don't just put that on the Bobo in the foundation and say there is no structure. There is a structure. The people who are sending money don't take time to do their research. You understand? Because they're man in the camp, you know. For us to say there's nothing is an insult, because you have Bobo that live on Bobo Hill and are holding up Psalms reading, even if it's one man. You understand? So for me to say that there's none, I can't say that, because in all the times that I've tried to do, there's always been somebody on the foundation willing to take on that position, or has been given that position, you know, of collecting funds. So I think maybe it's not to say there's no structure, but to say, can we have a better clarity to what's going on?
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. I was just going to say there needs to be more transparency, you know?
Right, because we don't want to insult each other, because people are there, you know, honorable, and people are, you know, every day they live on that hill, and it's not easy, you know? It's not an easy place at all. It's not a bed of roses. So at the end of the day, I give thanks for the people that are there, because the presence of those individuals upholds the culture to a certain degree. So give thanks for the presence. You know, we just have to help them.
The sister, give thanks to that thought, you know.
Yeah, we just have to strengthen these individuals and know them. That's why Jesus would say, strengthen the salvation man. Those salvation priests are priests that carry up service and carry up, you know, Sabbath. They carry up the different, there's so many things to do on the hill, and there's not enough people to do that work. And that's the bottom line.
Limited.
Very limited.
Limited.
You know, and that is the fundamental reality, you know. And then, you know, there's, I wouldn't want to, like, we have to be careful, because it's real people, feelings, people spend their time, their energy. So we just want to be very respectful, you know, and know what we're doing and take responsibility. You know, if you send money on the hill, be clear. You're sending it to your brethren. What is your brethren going to make sure that he goes to the office of the gatehouse and make sure and says this comes from so-and-so, you know? And that's the reality. That's the bottom line.
In other words, we need more transparency, you know?
On everyone's behalf, the people sending the money must make sure that just because you learn to live with the brethren in the strengthen him, yes, that's good. But also make sure you have something that is for the house, and be very clear about that.
Pardon me.
Yes.
The other day, Honorable Priest, Prophet A. Johnson, and money towards the tank. And the money is still there in Honorable Priest Eichel hand. I could say, my lord, give $1,000 to the house and he put it there natural, because it's there. So when I speak my word, I legit of every word that Joseph Manuel Edwards speaks at the Most High.
So let me ask this, if I might.
Let the Most High.
And you know something, just share something, Jad Daniel. You know, when we did the forum last year, Priest Donovan volunteered himself, you know, and there was a moment where I was spending money through the forum, right? Let me tell you what happened. He received physical, violent threats, you understand, from other priests who tried to take him from that position of treasurer. He ended up having to give up the book. You understand? So he had, even when Priest Donovan, we couldn't even put. Yes.
Somebody speak. Are you saying that? And we heard that Empress Esther set in a parliament and have rulers Bailey name on it. And those people are robbers and thieves in the Congress. So I want to know what's going on with the members there on the hill.
All right.
What's wrong with them?
If I may, let me bring it back in. I don't want to get into too much, name call it on this particular program because, you know, that brings a certain vibe and energy that I don't really
we have
want
to
to
check
take
out
on.
everything. Everything have to
True,
clear up. Either upon ear or internal affair. This is not no joke affair.
So let me ask
This
you
is a
this. Let me ask you
qualification
this.
for everyone.
So
And
when,
the father, General partial when him come to him work. And this is not no friend. This is not no friend affair. Salvation don't carry no friend. It's a right. It's a right. It's Emmanuel friend. So any man say love principle and principle and I'm God, he must be a defend the right. If a man daddy and not a friend.
So when Emmanuel was there, what was the protocol for receiving money? Was there like an office set up for that? And how did it function? Do you remember? Does anyone know?
Yes, we have an account set up where we were sending money from here to the account to Empress Esther name in the account, Chris Donovan, you know, and Rudolph Bailey, and they get a bad man and try to rush Donovan to sign for the money.
Okay.
You know, same as how they burn on the office. So all those things have to cut out.
That not working anymore, my lord. Don't you know that account, Adam, that not working anymore?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right. Well,
because Freddy,
go through, my lord.
Because they wanted to mix up Canada-based money with it, called cannabis. You know, they had to close down the account. You know.
True. Give thanks for that. You know. Beautiful.
All right. So this, I mean, you know, the topic of preserving the purity of the order, you know. So all of this is relevant, you know, because it used to function a certain way, and we see that it doesn't function that way anymore, partly due to the lack of, you know, but also due to the lack of order and organization because of the fact that the parliament is not strong enough.
Jesse, you got to turn off your mic, or Jad Daniel, you have to mute him.
Turn on the light.
You know, so that that way he doesn't, the background conversation doesn't come in, and then we can unmute him when he wants to come forward in.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
I was saying that, you know, the topic of conversation is preserving the purity of the order. And, you know, all of this is relevant because it used to function a certain way, and we see that it doesn't function that way anymore. So identifying the problems and the, you know, the different hangups that have caused it to become what it is right now can help us to get it where it needs to be, so that ones and ones, like what Priest Alonzo presented earlier, he was saying, you know, the future generation needs to get the same culture and the same order that the elder generation got. But as it is now, we are not getting that. And so this is all just helping us to identify why it is the way it is so that we can rectify it. You know what I mean? Not just really to blame people, but more so to figure out what it is that happened, why, not so much who. The who can be fixed, you know, easily. We can replace people easily with willing people, you know, willing hearts with skills and you know, integrity to carry out certain offices and things like that. But yeah, so you know,
blessed
the
Lord.
parliament. Go through, mother. Go through.
Blessed Lord.
Go through, King.
Yes, I know why. Many members looking followers. Many members say our father seat up as a king and teach right. He never look no followers. He live right and members are there. But members looking followers. So that man teach right. He might go on like him at the head now, so he might teach no one I want to be. He have student. So a student members that take the culture and look student to seat up and have man following them. But it's only one God for us and all the follow salvation in book and Bible way. So every man is his own man in himself. And I want heavenly God and the whole of we are earthly God. So any man feel like him have the heavenly God power, try. You know, so man have to be careful what they're doing and set them out style.
That's That's
the all right. So
I mean, and Jack Daniel, on that idea of student and teacher relationship, right? It is also for the student to understand that you're not here to worship do you understand? Because sometimes you have Bobo who will not take correction or a clear thought because it doesn't come from that one person they feel is, you to be able to reason, you understand, with your teachers and understand the lesson more than just to fall in love with the person teaching you. Do you understand what I'm saying? That now you're unable.
Pardon me again.
Jesse?
Pardon me again. The father passed those level already. That's why the father used to have honorable priest Ferdy walking through the yard with him book. You know, Geneva partial, no man. Any man who not working in the yard and go salvation have to come out of the yard. Him could never eat the same man meal. Him and the man who are working in the yard don't get the same meal at the kitchen. So what mashing up the Congress is friend business. Friend business. No universal, no settings as we just said now run the camp. That's how the camp runs up. But when you just set the camp, you have 7 men in the kitchen. You have him working team. Man who go to firewood, man who post bush, serviceman, natural. None of that not going in the camp. Man do duties when him feel like. If a man don't feel to read Psalms, he's not going to read it. When the father there, every man name right down in the gatehouse. Every day is a man there. Every 12 o'clock is a different man, 6 o'clock. Go right round to the ear. List change again. I saw the father have him think as a schoolroom. Man come to the foundation and change the program. And I live for them where them say them left from Babylon become change. Yeah, the same them I live there now. So they're lying to themselves at the most time.
That's the far right.
So let me ask this then. The committee. What was the purpose and function of the committee? I just leave it there. What did the committee do in the camp?
The purpose and the function of the committee to uphold the father words and the principle in the camp. So the father give a word and you're not living to it, the committee can dry up. You're in the yard and not going to service, the committee can dry up. You're cussing in the yard with a brethren, the committee can dry up. You and him come together and solve it. If it cannot solve it, go to the father and the father spit at justice. Either you go through the gate and impound it to of the natural. Some judgment. So the committee is the body and structure of the maintenance of the yard.
Yeah,
Natural.
It's crucial. It sounds like that's without that, if anything goes. You know? Because without no authority, without nobody check, it's like what? Anybody can do whatever they want to do. So, I don't know if this is really the forum to discuss how to reinstate it, but it seems like that's a pretty vital part of.
Well, it's going to start from somewhere.
Natural.
Yeah, first I will start from the art. So if I just started starting, make it start. That's the most time.
That's the far right. So now, Daniel, the question is the glass half full or half empty? Right. And so, and how you answer that, it will show forth the way we go forward,
Well, I would say it's half full, It went, it started getting empty, but now we're filling it.
Right. So the glass is not half empty, it's half full. So because of that, we give thanks for everyone still here and everyone still willing to make it beautiful. Right. There's a lot of beautiful issues to discuss in terms of like ceremonial changes, governmental changes, you know what I'm saying? Even, with the music, I being a young Bobo who never met Emmanuel and just reasoning with a Bobo in Bakawal, right? The 1-2 that is done now versus what was done in Bakawal, those are some of the changes that you see in the culture, right? The change in the beat, like, when you study the history, there's a lot of beautiful changes, some are positive, and we just got to understand why there are changes. And then we just work on those ones that are not positive to the advancement of the culture, right? And that's not hard, if we learn to reason with one another.
True. Honorable Priest Headley and Empress Maisie, you still there?
Yeah.
All right. So I have a question for the elders then. On the topic of keeping the livity pure, keeping the culture pure, not watering it down, right?
Yes,
So
beloved.
as time progresses, you know, we have different tools, you know, different people in different parts of the world, you know. So there's obviously we have to adapt somewhat. So it's like, where is the line drawn where it's too much and not enough? As far as like using technology and things like, you know, like where do we draw the line as far as like, you know, when do we stop?
You know, what I would say, beloved, is anytime that we come to the true reality of the teaching of our Father, who teaches us that man of right is God in flesh, whom man of right also is God in flesh. When we come to the reality of that, you know, sometimes Dada would ask a question, my Lord, when the congregation gather around. And Dada would say, you know, my Lord, how would them say a God? And you would have silence for a period of time. And you would hear man and man mumble, and some man would say, it's the man, my Lord. Yes, and Dada would say, then what happened to the idea in his judgment? So until we learn who we are, my Lord, and live as how we're supposed to live, no changes. We have to born again. Our Father come with clean hands, pure heart, equality for all. Any changes or anything to go on, my Lord, make him do that when the redemption finish. For now, righteousness unto the King's Son. Leave the judgment unto our Father. I should say kings, sons, daughters. But I don't want the sister them vex that are leaving them out. Equality for all.
And she quality.
Sons, equality for all, my Lord. Fundamental human rights are fundamental people's rights. Yes, that our Father, Emperor Haile Selassie, the mighty King of Kings, the power of the Holy Trinity, ratified on the 10th of December 1948 and gave to the United Nations to minister to the world of people that they are in no gross violation of doing, and all of the heads of government around the world, we find them in gross violation of these rights, and they are also going to prison for these rights and for genocide and for all the wickedness that is still being done unto my people. Most High, Holy Emmanuel.
The last yeah. Rasta.
So it's, my Lord, the elders, not the olders, the elders who know the way must show
give
way.
thanks, Honorable the voice of Honorable Priest Headley, my Lord.
Oh, Royal Majesty, my Lord.
Give thanks, Honorable. Yes, that's why you said the Father asked, who is the man there? When Gilbert right. Blow, I'm going to go around there and I said, Dad, I have to go and rough around there. Just said then, no, you are blow it. And hear me. Me have to say, yeah. And then said, then you don't have to deal with it. I said, natural, my Lord. Yeah. So it's right. Said the
Royal Majesty, Royal Majesty. Let me show you something. Honorable Prophet Daniel, that is there beside you now, that is talking on the line here, my Lord. Came to Jamaica, my Lord. Right? And on the Sabbath morning, my Lord, the man coming to Jamaica and going to service, my Lord. And is only what? 1 or 2 priests on the altar, my Lord.
Just one.
One, my Lord. Prophet Daniel playing the bass. Prophet Daniel playing the bass. I playing the funde. Prophet Huey playing the kete. And my Lord, when the bingy start, my Lord, and the priest singing the hymn, I want the other priest to come down with the hymn. No priest, my Lord. All right. The brethren come down with the hymn, or a priest would come, beloved.
Yeah, priest would come. Yes, sir.
I think our next priest would come and him come down with the hymn. And him start the other hymn. No, him had to come down with the hymn. Yes. And him start the other hymn. My Lord. But the Naya Bing, my Lord. I tell you, when the death to the wicked start roll through the earth, majesty, by the man come down with the next hymn, my Lord. 7 priests. Yeah, my Lord. 7 priests. And the priests start the psalms with the 24th psalms, my Lord.
Where is the Lord?
And when the brethren was culturing,
ancestors go for them and arise them.
My Lord, you say when the brethren start to culture before the psalms, my Lord, and him said the Naya Bingi, because the Naya Bingi draw them out, you know, my Lord.
Yes, ancestors go for them.
And cut through the earth, you know, and cut and clear and move all barriers, all chops, all gins, all snare, all evil principalities and powers in the places and the rulers of darkness, you know.
I never praise. That's what I talk about, and when I live, I know that. This is one night, the man I come out with the service one night, and I said, no, don't come down, I'm going to go for it. I said, but I'm on the iron, and I clap 1, 2 to the night. A 7 man me get. After service, one call congregation, and no music. 1, 2, and singing. I make me use ancestors and draft flesh out of them house. I'm going to go call no man. I'm not going for no man at knock no man door. I'm going to have some meditation and use ancestors and take man. I'll just tea come out and rock till the morning. I said, my Lord, I don't know, I just get drawn out of my house. I said, natural. Yes, there are powers in the blood. Power in the blood.
Hear this now, beloved. Here we go on. And you see, when the brethren are culture, the brethren said the Naya Bingi can make the earth what? Shake or tremble, my Lord. Your Majesty. And you see, by the 24th Psalm to come down, my Lord. The earthquake that shook, you know, my Lord.
Daniel, play the beat.
Your Majesty. The only little feeling when I have sorry about it is that my people them in a 80, you know, and them get most of the judgment. So them to change the name to love it.
No judgment. You can't even sorry. I said to no judgment. So
no, you just feel away because most of the things we are going at them people, them my Lord. You know, see it? Most of the things we are going.
Enough
black people them, you know.
Yeah, amongst yourself, and we are all up, just we are all up redemption. So, you know, somehow we have to get judgment.
So, my brethren, so I show you, so I tell you, say, you know, the powers of I and I is just what people it need, my Lord, to really come and give them heart and them soul and God know, my Lord.
That's
because
right.
the Father said the only development down here is Freedom Redemption International. So I don't know all of them things where people gone in, you know, my Lord, just a waste time and distraction and all kind of delay thing, you know.
Because they are not living to go to Africa. None of them them are living to die in Jamaica. That's why they do this thing.
All right, give thanks, Angel. Honorable Prophet, my Lord.
Majesty.
Prophet Daniel, Majesty.
Yes, my Lord.
Don't charge us, my Lord. You are the host.
Can you hear me? Yes. Yes, I mean, just you know, for the reason still Yeah, I don't really have nothing, you know. If it's really just, you know, for ones and ones that just came in, the topic that Honorable Priest Alonzo presented was keeping the liberty and culture pure, you know, to not let it water down, so that the ones and ones coming in the future and now can get the same culture that was given when I was on the hill, you know. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot that's been said at this point, you know, but yeah, the main thing is just, you know, what the priest was just saying, you know, we of course we're moving in time, you know, things are changing, but the right doesn't change. Right is right and wrong is wrong, you know. And
that's true.
Yeah, and in order for the Bobo Ashanti order to really function, ones and ones have to live in the camp. There's no other way around it, you know. What I see for myself is that, you know, outside of the camp, there's no place that I can live without having to pay money for rent. So if I have to pay money for rent, I have to work to make that money. If I have to work to make that money, I'm serving somebody. You know what I mean? But I'm not really putting my energy towards freedom, redemption, creation. I'm putting it towards survival. Yeah,
that's true, my lord.
Distraction and taking my energy where I could be putting my energy towards getting us home. I'm here, you know, painting houses and things like that. So yeah, it's real.
Pretty a moment, Honorable Prophet Daniel.
Yes,
Honorable Priest Daniel want to give the man a blessing. But before you do, my lord, we had a chorus one time, my lord. That when we singing those chorus, my lord, we're singing with extra energy, you know. 3 meals a day, no rent to pay, you know. Yeah, right. Bobo Hill, my lord.
How it go, King?
You remember that chorus? Priest Jesus, you remember that chorus?
Which one?
3 meals a day, no rent to pay.
3 meals a day, no rent to pay. No, I don't remember that chorus. I remember the one that said, no, I am going home, no rent to pay. That one there. Going
no,
home.
I forgot check Priest Daniel if you remember.
No rent to pay.
Yeah.
My home is in Zion.
My home in Zion, man.
Yes, Priest Jesus. My home is in Zion.
My home is in Zion. Just waiting for me.
Yeah, well, you still need that one next one.
And when I
reach there,
oh, happy I'll be. My home
is in Zion. Rent to pay. King has paid it. Paid it for us.
Most time.
Rastafari.
My lord, that portrait that the eye put up went with the camp.
My lord, Priest Headley.
My lord, what a beautiful city, and a hill cannot be hid, my lord.
Yeah, the original foundation before the man them burn it up.
Montuman Hill, yes.
Montuman Heights, my lord.
Give thanks for those, you know, faithful few, you know, to rebuild our father's home, you know, just waiting for us. And when I reach there, how happy shall I be? You know, my home is in Zion. No rent to pay. King Niggas paid it. Paid it for us. Give thanks, man. You know, yes, my lad. So give thanks for coming in, you know. The time in South Africa right now is 1:30 a.m., 1:30.
Yeah, revive that work, oh Lord.
Give thanks. No night in Mount Zion, you know.
No night in Mount Zion.
Tough love. Love.
Africa in the house. Give thanks, you know,
love, blessed love.
My Lord.
The host, give thanks to the
The man said, there's a home eternal, you know, beautiful and bright, you know, we are great joyful. Eternal never a dim by night, you know. You know, white robe angel are singing, you know, ever
Field
around
Marshal,
bright
you know,
road,
the
you know.
royal.
So when shall I see him? Home, beautiful home, in Mount Zion, Ethiopia, Africa. So give thanks to Africa. Await itself of self to come home, to build back himself of self. I and I are Africa. We talk Africa, we live Africa, we sleep Africa. We do everything for Africa, said the Most High.
Last year, Jah Rastafari.
Back in the day, from what I understand, even from an interview I did with Priest Shimron, he said there used to be more women and children up on the hill. What happened?
Honorable Priest Daniel, Prophet Daniel, I
Honorable.
have a question for Priest Jesus and Priest Edley, since now we're connected to Africa, right? And in Bobo Ashanti culture.
Hold on 1 minute, Empress. I just asked the question, and once we get an answer to that one, I'll call on you and let you go through with your question. 1 moment. But I was asking, Priest Shimron said there used to be more women and children on the hill. What happened? Why there's not so much no more? I only saw, when I was there, I saw one Empress with one child.
Tribulation.
Natural. No woman likes to live in oppression.
All type of things go wrong. So we have to build it up. From tribulation. Because through tribulation and trial. Trial and cross is not the way. Man to the heart of the battle is sweet and victory. So when the battle get hot, the child and the woman, them have to put them away sometime.
Natural.
And build up back again, because you can't make the children suffer. So more while I just saw it go my land. We are building a solid foundation to live in Zion. Most High.
Slasia, Jah
Rastafari.
Yes, we gotta do better for the Black woman. More comfort. Once we create a little bit more comfort, we will see more sisters. It's just that natural. You build the nest, the hens will come lay the eggs. Okay, so that's how that works, my honorable brothers. A little more comfort.
I would also like to add, to the end, that to make our younger sisters know, because just hearing of the principle and hearing that it's 21 days, I know some people try to make it look that it is so wicked and it's so hard, because, they don't know the beauty and the virtue of it, that if a woman can have the privilege to live 21 days to learn of herself, that's great privilege. To know the changes of her structure and all of these things, and to also that purification period, that shedding up. Remember, Christ shed his blood once. She also come through now and shed her blood once. That is supposed to go to the earth, for a purification period. So now that she, within the 21 days, as we are in what now, 21 also, 2001, 21, we can see naturally that there's a changes within the earth, within the viruses, within everything right now. The earth, everything is being purified, right? So we want our sisters to know that the period that our Father set aside for them, from biblical then coming from 7, 8 days to 14 to 21, right? Is for the preservation of our mothers, our sisters, our wives, our daughters, that they don't have to take these poison and these things to destroy themselves, that they call birth control and all of these things to control the nation. And now that we can see that, they see that these birth control methods are not working. They are using these natural viruses now to kill off the people, So the sisters, especially, I am really reaching out to where the purification period is concerned.
Honorable priest.
Yes, my sister.
Blessed love. As a woman, right? I'm gonna speak on what the experience of 21 days is supposed to build in its technicality in a woman. It's supposed to build spiritual power, okay? Because the abstinence of your fleshical self, right? When you deal with the issues of your body, right? Abstaining, because it's even more than 21 days. If a woman truly wants to build spiritual power, you abstain from physical engaging, feeding the flesh. Do you understand what I'm saying? So in essence, you know, if you really are living the 21-day principle within its proper principle, the end result of that Black woman is a Black woman that has sound spiritual power. Do you understand?
Okay.
Pardon you, Jesse, excuse me. Isn't that the goal? Because, you know, the Black woman is not just childbearing. The Black woman also moves on beyond childbearing ages, and she doesn't see a period anymore. So she does not have to stay in-house 21 days. The Black woman has a time before she gets into going in-house, right? So the 21 days doesn't really apply. So to me, when the Father addresses the world of Black women, it's not just childbearing age women who are going through a period. It is from your young stage to your middle stage to your elder stage. And from each stage, when you deal with principle, whether you want to call it the 21-day principle or the woman principle, you know, every stage must reflect a Black woman who's of sound, clear thinking, because they are meditating and building the spiritual energy within themselves. You know what I mean? Because we are both spiritual, spirit and flesh. You know what I mean? And it's important for the individual to understand how to build the spirit in them. So to me, as a Black woman, when I look at the 21-day principle, right? The goal of staying in, you know, in a space where you think of yourself, the final goal of that is to attain sound spiritual standing so that you can have functional thinking, right? You know what I mean?
Well, that is even good to enhance what I'm saying, you know, because, you know, as I said before, because of 21 days and how things are here in Jamaica, here is a different experience or experience of livity to the condition of life, you know. So it would come like it is a hard thing, you know, but yet it is really a good thing, because as you said, spirituality, it builds both the womb man and I as a man, for 21 days not seeing my wife. When I see her at the first day, it's like a new woman, you know.
Natural.
Every month she's like a new woman. We don't have no time to fuss, you know, my sister. It's pure longing.
No, you know, exactly. No, I'm serious. Like when you are really meditating your spiritual self as a Black woman, you ain't going to be into the chaos. You're not going to be causing drama. You're going to create peace because you understand your role and your duty, which is to create peace, you know, and to create loving environments. So yes, priest, most natural. Give thanks for that.
It is very good. I'm telling you, my sister, man, because them things build I and I relationship that we have just longing. Remember, you go to the road by 7 days and you come back, you know. Remember, it's all, for 21 days, you don't see her, you know, and you go to the road, you come back, you see red flag. Wow. You know, and next whole 21 day again. So every time you see her, it's like a new person and
right.
You know,
but you know, priest, unfortunately, we can't just think about the women that are childbearing age. When we think of the Black woman, we must think of her in her adolescent stage, in her puberty, in her young adult, in her middle age, in her adult, and in her, you know, elderly stage. And I think the culture must be able to address the needs of the Black woman in all those different stages. And the 21-day principle, for the most part, addresses women that are of childbearing stages, right? Right or wrong, right? Because you have to separate yourself because you go in-house, right? Not all the stages of Black womanhood are on an in-house level. So we have to be able to address the understanding of those that are on the in-house level, address those that are in menopause and the kind of physiological issues they will have, you know, and the kind of psychological issues that may come in, and how it's important to exercise your spirit as well and still abstain and still have a form of structure. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that is the full embodiment of the Woman Freedom League. The woman full embodiment of King Emmanuel towards the Black woman is more than is not just the 21-day principle. You know what I mean?
No,
That's part of it.
I fully have knowledge of that, my sister.
Yes.
This is he brings the sisters forward, and give them time now, to get all of these teaching that you are talking that they can share amongst themselves,
Right.
See what I'm saying? They get time with their children, because remember, that the item have to groom and mold the children them. It's even the youth man them until they are about what, 7 or 8 year old, 12 or so year old,
Right.
But they have the princess them with the item all the time. So is the item now have to mold them and bring them up out to rehab forward to a king or a prince and all of these things. So,
Right.
Yeah, I know the real routine, but I'm just saying that because I know that the 21 day always sound away to my sister them.
I know it does. And I know I deal with a lot of that. I've dealt with women who said it's so oppressive. And I'm like, you missed the point. If you think there's an oppression in it. And I think most time people misunderstand me because I'm willing to reason on the concept and how it applies to Black women in the whole spectrum of Black womanhood. And people say you're fighting. I'm not. I have, you have to understand the purpose for things, right? And once you understand the purpose for something, you respect it for that, but it doesn't limit you from exploring the other aspects of life. So yeah, it's not oppressive at all. Living as a Bobo Ashanti woman is the most freeing experience any Black woman can really ever have if she truly embraces the culture. There's no bondage in King Emmanuel livity. Where there's 21-day principle or anything, there's no bondage, none whatsoever. No principle set by the Father. No principle from how you wear your fall. Nothing is bondage. It's just the heights of freedom. But I think it's very important in how we teach it. You know what I'm saying? Because the Father taught it, and he, it says God gave the word, and great is the company of those that publish it. So those that are going to publish the word have to find a way in which to do it in a manner that really puts it within the children's reach. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, give thanks.
Yeah.
I just said that, my sister, give thanks to honor Prophet Daniel, and don't make him source, because see him doing the same thing that you're talking about right now. Honorable Majesty, my Lord.
My Lord.
You're not going to sue us, my Lord.
Huh?
You're not going to sue us, my Lord.
Sue you? No.
No. That's my talk.
No, true. And I just reason, and we just give, just reason, so I want to know that you're all right and thing with it, my Lord. And I have priest. I have a young priest here. Want to say, priest Macho, my Lord. I have Macho, my Lord.
Give thanks.
Blessed love, my Lord and Emperor.
Blessed love, Honorable.
Give thanks to all works of salvation.
Oh, blessed love, Honorable Priest Macho. Peace
give
and
thanks
love.
to the Honorable Priest, man. Give thanks. Oh, go on.
I'm here giving thanks. Love to the man.
True. Give thanks to such presence, and such
yes,
doom.
And keep up the salvation duty and strengthen along with Priest Huey.
True,
strengthen the order. I will be there soon.
Yes, my Lord. Give thanks for your presence, man. Blessed love, Honorable Prophet. My Lord. Blessed love, Prophet Daniel.
Yes, blessed love, Honorable Priest Matthew.
Yeah, I never really get the topic or the reason. I never really know you people, you, Honorable Prince and Princess, King and Queen, did I have a Zoom. So I'm not really sure what is the grouping.
Well, the topic we're reasoning about is keeping the order pure, not watering down, and keeping all the principles, that King Emmanuel set, and really just touching base on a lot of the ways that we have gone, say, astray, what it used to be, what it is right now, Yes,
so Honorable, I hear you ask Daddy a while ago why the Empress them is not on the camp. You want me to answer that question, or you want to ask me a different question?
You have something to say on it, you can, it's freedom, my Lord.
Well, before me I listen to the reasoning, and I hear like some contribution to the camp. Well, what me I gonna say still honorable. If anyone want to send any contribution to the camp, yes, that will be good. But we wouldn't want contribution to come way from foreign or Africa to put on we like with daily things that we need like food. We need contribution to build infrastructure. If we say we want Empress at the camp, we not really have
settings
to put Empress and
natural.
Mama, hold on now. A journey all is up there, Mama. But suppose you can get 10 Empress with like a big one when not see in. A Empress the in by herself. You should have a company side of her, someone who knows say is love and peace. You know that give her more motivation to live the principle. You follow me? You follow me, Honorable?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go through.
Yeah, so like we need places like at least a place where a 4 gates. Cause it's only a one journey, and only 2 Empress can journey right now. So
Okay.
if we have all 4 places with all a fence, they know say 4 Empress depend them issue. So the 4 Empress can communicate. So it'll be like I want me to say now, a building back a spiritual love and connection with one another as Empress. And you know, you might have young Empress and you might have Prince. So it's just to build back a mother, when me that say now, a mother and sister, daughter love with the sons or the young sons or the young. So give thanks to such strength, give thanks to everything, and give thanks to everything. But we need to pay attention on more building because the time is come where I have to make a choice if you have to go take vaccine or not vaccine. So you gotta have a time when you want to come, and when you want to come, you gotta want to know say we're comfortable and we're all right. So
Yes, ma'am.
my lord, if it's up to me, if a man gonna send a contribution, strengthen the Empress infrastructure or strengthen the infrastructure of the place. Blessed love my lord and Empress.
Blessed love. Give thanks for your,
Honorable Jad Daniel.
Go through, Empress.
Yeah, listening to the brother, we are hearing basically like the needs, like he's speaking of infrastructural needs, right? And that's just one aspect. And I think that in order for these needs to be met, right, in the true way of solving the problem, right, we have to have an economy, all right? Because you cannot want to build without an economy. Economy is going to give us the ability to do what we want in terms of infrastructure. So I think before we could talk about just building, let's talk about how to properly solve the problems, right? So sending money to build one house for Empress or whatever is fine, right? But is that going to solve the problem of infrastructure on the foundation? No. Okay. But if we figure out a business, to get into as an association, right? And we are able to generate a proper budget, right? Because that's the level we're at right now. You know what I mean? The father had stages. Okay. And the stage we're in right now as an association is to be able to have $1 million budget. Why not? We have Bobo all over the world. Okay. So how are we going to think here is how we're going to forge our way in the future, how we solve our problems. So we're not going to think small. We're going to solve the problem. Once you get to the root of the problem, right, which is economy, we need income. Without income, steady income, reliable income is hard to build. And the only way to do that is to have economy. And we know that the father had businesses. He had the brooms. He had a lot of things going, right? So let's see if we, listen.
To me, still in an Empress. To me still, economy, a way to build an economy is still set. But the way to build it, because Jalefa sturdy and a firm thing, without, it's a steady foundation, you can't move. You understand me, Empress? It's the unity between ones and one. Imagine, I am just a local youth, what just get preached one day, and a place where me hear peace and love when we done sing, or we are here about love, joy, a man a pass and tell you blessing love, and we can't even live good. A little disagreement can hear a big quarrel on social media. You hear where people done to people, and it's pure wickedness. So the economy is not the problem, it's the unity and the love.
You're right. You're right. It takes, the way you build an economy is based on the kind of social relationships we have. So basically, you're going back to the fundamental problem that Priest said everywhere is the lack of love. All right. And all those things, King Emmanuel is very clear: no gossip, no slander, no tale bearing, right? You know why he put that in his roll call and he put it in the Constitution? Why? Because these kind of behaviors are a detriment to their love. You cannot sustain love in an environment where people gossip, slander, and talebear. You understand what I'm saying? So it's up for once. The roll call principle speaks of that every day. Man and man listen to that, read that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm not going to worry about people's inability to live right. As long as we set up a solid structure, a solid system of economy, right? Irrespective of the wounded love relationships, we can still generate money. And that's what we have to come at. Okay? We have to be able to identify those with a healthy personality, people who, and you know, I don't really like the gossip and slander. I hate that with a passion. Okay? And it's time for people to be accountable. All right? So I'm not going to gossip. I don't gossip, you know, and I don't slander. I don't talk about Bobo. So it's up to people to live that. It's just as what you read in the roll call, what you read in the Constitution, live up to that. It's that simple. But if people are going to read these things and still go back there and talk about flesh, I ain't got time for that. So at the end of the day, I'm not looking to unify everyone. I'm just looking for those key individuals that can come together and set up a system. Because with the system, you can maintain a nation, you know. Nations are governed by systems of organization. And we have the potential to organize Black people from America to the Caribbean to Africa and create an economy. Okay, and this is the level of thinking we're supposed to be on right now. And, you know, it's very hard to indulge, as I said, when people do not respect simple principle: no gossip, no slander, no tale bearing. And the young priest is right. An economy is founded on social relationships that people have one to another, you know. So the kind of social relationships one to another people have will determine the kind of economy they can create. And right now, the brother is not wrong. We do not have the right social understanding. And the Father already taught us to us. So we have to ask ourselves.
That's why the Father will have that, because the God will have a unity. So him could have been like community with it, you know, where every man knows no man couldn't say no individual slippers, no man couldn't say no individual button, no man couldn't say no individual broom. Himself and come to the government and him have a time for himself. So it was a principle. But every man gone to selfishness now, every man in an own house.
Right. I mean, and then I would say to this, like a lot of people come to the culture, you come to the culture, you find King Emmanuel built his robe and turban or whatever the case is, right? Or the drums. The fact that people are willing to take that and learn that skill after coming to Bobo and then take it and turn into a personal business is also a little violation as well. But if I tell people that, they wouldn't understand and they'll get offended, you understand, because people use what they learn in Bobo to survive, you know. But the guidance making should never be something people do on their own. It's something that should be only done on the foundations. Okay, because that is Bobo Ashanti culture. You know, when people take that and go make economy, you're taking away from the house. You understand what I'm saying? So ones and ones should come and identify, I have my personal business and this is the Congress business. You know,
none of them never say, I, Joseph Manuel Edwards, I said no guidance like that yet. So I never will have nothing from the government. So flesh of the nose, anything when you come learn from the government, you must learn, even if you are doing it with yourself, you must give percentage out of that towards the government, the government product.
So, but we're going to talk all these things take conversations, right? We're having conversations right now, and this is the beginning because we have to change the way we think. Okay? We have to change the way we think. And when you say change the way we think, it's not to say we just have to line up ourselves within the right a little bit better. You understand what I'm saying? In our thinking, so we can manifest the reality we want to see. You have to understand yourself to be the God that manifests the reality that you chant about in the culture. You understand what I'm saying? You're not going to wait for somebody else. So it's a lot of things, but we're in the right direction. We're having conversations, and hopefully our conversations will lead to a better place, and we can manifest economy. And as the priest said, you have to love one another. You see, this love thing is not a joke thing. It permeates into aspects of life, your economy, your political, social standing, as an individual, as a people, is based on the ability to love one another. And as I'm even speak on a different concept of love, here in the association of the EABIC, you have Africans born in different parts of the world, right? Carrying different historic experiences. We have to learn to love one another. Like, I don't like to see what I call tribalism. There's a lot of tribalism as well within the culture. You see, where you may feel that a Bobo from one part of the islands may have a hard time embracing the Bobo from Jamaica. These things are real realities that we deal with, and we have to acknowledge them and move beyond that. Do you understand what I'm saying? And learn to find the beauty in our differences. You see it as African people.
We get ensnared by the work of his own hand.
Right. So let the works of our hands be that of love. Love one another and augment the love, where you're comfortable to go around a group of Bobo that are born in Jamaica, and you're comfortable, even if you're born in another place. You don't feel less.
No, man, not to take the marvelous work from the Congress and make a spoil of it and don't make the Congress. Every work for a man learn in the Congress is marvelous work, as when Psalms 9 tell you about. So if a man come to the Congress and take the marvelous work and take for himself, him ensnared by the work of his own hand and him getting problem. So flesh of the nose says a spiritual judgment and temporal judgment going to earth.
All right. Yes, my Lord. Let me, if I could ask for a moment, establish a little more order. Honorable Priest Jesus, the music is making it hard for I and I to hear the ones that's speaking, So if you're gonna have the music, if you could just turn it down some so that it's not such a, overpowering to whoever it is that's, reasoning, because it's hard for the ones that's listening to understand what's being said. But give thanks, for the music still.
Give thanks to the word.
My Lord. Yes, I am. And Empress Lily Mae, she's been tuning in and she wanted me to share a word to the group. So I'll read what she said. She said, "Blessed love, beloved loved ones universally. Heart of love, glorify the unity of all loved ones speaking the truth. Continue on this glory road. The glass is half full. Through that our God, Jah Rastafari, mighty power. Praises and thanksgiving ceaselessly to Jah Rastafari, mighty power, beloved ones." So yeah, that's from Honorable Empress Lily Mae in Shashamane.
Yeah, God bless her. God bless her. God bless her. God bless her.
Yes, my Lord Empress. Honorable Priest Alonzo, you still on the line, my Lord?
I still am, my Lord.
All right. Well, you got something to say, my Lord? Can't hear you clearly, my Lord. Breaking up.
Jesse, please, you sound like
Priest Alonzo.
Blessed. Can you hear me?
Yes, my Lord.
I was saying I just drinking milk,
Yes, I give thanks, King. Well, the I is the one who brought up the topic, so give thanks and glorify for even getting us on. I mean, this is it's a topic that we could probably go on for days and days, really, because it's
months.
So much, Yeah, so it's very, very relevant to where we are as a Congress that we have these type of conversations, and, to all the ones that's been tuning in, coming in recently. The topic is preserving the purity of the Bobo Ashanti order, culture, livity. Yeah, and, it's gone a lot of places. The priest Alonzo brought up the topics of the justice box. That was something that used to exist. Will give her empress a freedom, to speak her mind, to look.
Yes, all of those things gonna build back in the tabernacle. The justice box, the right side of the altar. Natural. Lord. And when you have big reasoning, you keep it in the tabernacle where house reason, where everyone even from outside can come, speak their opinion in the justice box. So there are type of, teaching, my Lord.
Give thanks, Honorable. He also mentioned that the Sabbath, used to be a bit more holy, more serious. It wasn't so much recording going on. And, he said that the Father used to cover all his devices with white cloth, during the Sabbath and wouldn't uncover them until the Sabbath.
I don't hear that. Repeat that. What him said?
He said during the Sabbath, there wasn't no recording, no video recording and things like that. And
not right. But two things and time change. Now is a different time. The Father will free certain things. You could have a little record, but in the future we're not gonna allow no one to record like that. We're gonna have camera
own
in
recording.
The tabernacle.
Yeah.
We're gonna have camera in the tabernacle in places, so when time you record, you can just record naturally, and then a man can get a copy. But for everybody have a camera, it's not upright. So it's natural.
Yes, I give that. Yeah, and he was even saying that our Father, King Emmanuel, used to cover all of his, TVs and things like that with white cloth during the Sabbath.
Natural, because we are not using those things. Because through those things are not using at that moment till 6 o'clock Saturday evening, everything covered. That's how you put away a knife. You cover the radio and those things because they are not using.
True, my Lord. Give thanks. And, all of this is relevant, because, ones and ones nowadays wouldn't really know these full unless someone told them, because most of us don't really live in the camp nowadays anyway to even see it for ourselves.
Yeah, Daniel, blessed, my Lord. I would like for Jesse, if you remember, like I had called him a couple of months ago and he was on the hill, right? And it was early in the morning and there was an issue where a priest had let an empress be part of the Psalms reading and these kind of things. And then also he was explaining to me that the reverence, how the reverence is being said, like people talking too much before the reverence and saying that certain things that are happening ceremonially, right, are inappropriate. They're not the Father's standard. And then also in that time, there was an issue of a person wanting to keep a birthday party on the hill and have a Naya Bingi. You know what I'm saying? And then what was so interesting? That Sabbath or whatever, there were not enough priests on the altar. But all of a sudden, all these people coming out like not using the house of God for what it's supposed to be. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like people making it a social gathering, Remember that priest Jesus?
That's right.
So yeah, the priest had allowed an empress to read, and that's not appropriate. And I think that no empress should take it upon herself to find herself wanting to read in the Psalms reading. Like, what kind of spirit do you have as a woman? You understand what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't just blame the priest alone, He may have done it for whatever reason, but I, as an empress, how dare? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so these are the kind of things that we want to talk about in terms of changes in culture. Priest Justice, can you explain a little bit what you said was different? I think a priest had gone up with the reverence, but prior to going up with the reverence, they were like saying too much words.
Father, natural. When I said reverence in the royal courts of King David, you must say glory be. Because you said reverence. If a man want chant before him said reverence. So when they said reverence in the royal courts of King David, the next word supposed to come is glory be. To our Father and to the Son. So enough man said reverence and then have a lot of chanting. And the Father used to go sit down back when them do that. And wrath and man get in this judgment. Oh, him said reverence. I know back with the chant. Who is that down there? I never said, go down there. Natural. So you have to know this is an order. So if I said reverence, it's glory be. So if you want to chant, you chant before. But if I said reverence the royal courts of King David, glory be, glory Father, natural. So that's the order of the church.
True, my Lord. Give thanks for the clearance still. Yeah, and another thing that Empress or that Priest Justice had brought up was that you know, there used to be the Marcus Garvey printery where they used to print pamphlets and books and things like that. That's something that needs to be rectified and revived. Yeah, all of these, you know, it would be good. It'd be good.
We'll call up on all the printer, then the man who know to print and who can provide a printer machine. We're gonna build back the office. You know, we're gonna build back the conference hall. The office built already. We're gonna build back the conference hall and we're gonna build back the printer room in the foundation.
Yes, I think all of these things, it'd be good even if we could just even, I don't know if it would need to be a conference or even if just one or two could sit down and really go through, think about everything that used to be that isn't anymore and try and create an agenda to bring everything forward.
Everyone know everything.
Yeah, ones and ones coming into Bobo Ashanti now should be getting the same exact culture that ones and ones got in the 1970s and 80s, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
we're getting something totally different.
It is. I mean, I'm going to put it like this, and I don't get offended, right? Because we're just reasoning, and I don't mean to offend anyone, right? If you take a recording right now and listen to a priest Rocco on the altar, right? And I press fast forward and I play a young priest coming up right now, the level of spiciness is different. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you listen to them ancient priests there, you know, their command of the Bible is very clear. You understand? And right now, within the younger generation,
them study.
You have the younger generation has not mastered the Bible. You understand? So now they want to come in culture. Right. There's a difference. When you listen to the recordings, listen to how man and man chant, listen to how they take the scriptures.
A
calmer frequency, calmer everything. So, you know, we have to do a lot to get the frequency forward, and it's feasible because the culture lives within flesh, you know, mind and heart. So we just have to talk to each other. Yeah, that's why we're right here right now. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean,
to that level of clarity and understanding.
Exactly. And when I reason a lot with the ancients, you get a lot of understanding, even from Bakawal, like the Bakawal ancients. They're very clear that they spent a lot of time on Bible and togetherness, you know, and really studying, you know. So we want to revive that. We want some more new priest Barbies. And, you know, when I say new, you know, just to continue in the spirit of these people, because they were wonderful ministers of God. You know, and you listen to it, it's there. You could still feel them like they're still living right here. And most of those people have passed. So, you know, it's a beautiful culture.
I would like to, at this time, I would like to open the floor. If there's any ones that have recently entered that have anything they want to say, any questions that they have, you know, you can direct the question to anyone, or you could just put a, you know, just ask the question. Whoever know the answer can answer. But, you know, a freedom, you know. Yeah, just go through whenever, if you feel like it, unmute your microphone and say what you have to say. And if no one does, then we'll just keep moving, you know?
Well, you know, I'm always eager to reason and ask questions and put Jesus on the spotlight here and really kind of engage. I would put anyone on the spotlight, but maybe I'll speak of him because I'm a little more comfortable with reasoning with him and I'm familiar, right? And we understand that there's no offense when we talk to each other, right?
Yes, sir. One moment, Empress. Bobo Linksley, you had something you wanted to say, my lord?
Yes, I just would like to see the unity of it, you know, all the love spread at once and all, from the ancients to the younger ones, and all knowing the same pathway that Emmanuel has taught and left the order for us to give. You see? Mm-hmm. My name is Honorable Linksley. I'm from the Bahamas branch, Bobo Linksley.
Truly. Yeah, and you know, through reasoning with some of the elders that even lived on the foundation during those days, glory days, they all say that the generation now, what we're lacking is the camp life. Without living in the camp and the certain level of unity and all of them things, you're not really gonna get it, you know?
Yeah, but I've been to the camp too. I mean, me not been to the hill yet, but I've been to the camp in Bahamas. Sometimes you get there with some of the elder ones, but Priest Zebedee and Empress Lily and
them show me the light. Them show me how with the wine and how to keep the order, you know, how to pray, how to fast and read in service, how to go to service and hold up service, you know, how to be God and everything. But then you meet some man them on the road and you talk to them about far eye and them like them lost, brother. And them elders.
You know, Daniel,
Yes,
with
sir.
that statement, I would like to put blessed love, Bobo Linksley, blessed.
Blessed Empress.
Wherever the Bible says, wherever you lay your bed, he is there, right? So I lay my bed in the belly of the beast, right? Right is right, whether I'm on the hilltop, right, or I am in the belly of the beast. So when we say you can understand right wherever you're at now, maybe living on the foundation, what will living on the foundation do for me? The foundation is what? Communal living, right? Because that's what it is. It's a communal, right?
Yeah.
So, but our communal is not functioning right. So even if I go there, I'm not going to have the proper experience. So at the end of the day, we got to get the communal functioning right in order for people to, even if they have that camp experience, they can have the totality of it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because
well, which one is the cart and which one is the horse, you know? Which one is first?
Which in terms of what? In terms of
yeah, well, you said in order for us to, if you went to the camp now, you wouldn't get that experience because there.
No, okay. Well, see, let me show you that, because I understand that, right? I, as a Bobo right now, have said, because I understand the reality of the culture where it's at. It says you got to study history and prophecy. Understand what I'm saying? And I think I have taken time, and I'm still taking time, and I'm still learning. You'll understand that there is a problem. And therefore, because I understand there is a problem, my mentality is what? How do we help? So I'm not going to Jamaica with the mentality that I'm going there with the mentality to help. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going there to say, yes, I'm going to experience something, of course. But my mental predisposition is not just to gain the experience. I have lived the right where I'm at right here in hell. So when I go to the hill, I'm going there as reinforcements to help, to learn also of communal living to a certain extent. But you have to ready yourself wherever you're at and understand that our foundation is, you know, according to the Constitution, that is our point of centralization. You understand? So our foundation must reflect a certain level of glory. You understand?
And another aspect of that reasoning still though is like, all right, without being in the camp, right? You none of us have the freedom unless you have like land that somebody gave you and you don't have to pay no money for it. You don't have that time, you know, like, all right, if you're living in the camp, every morning you have roll call, you have morning devotion, you have Psalms reading, and then you have certain celebrations, you have the Sabbath every Friday and Saturday. So there's all of these different things that's going on, and I'm sure there's even more than that keep you socializing with your people. And also you're reading the scriptures a lot because of the service that keeps going through. Whereas out here in the world, you're working 9 to 5 more times. And when you get done working, you have a family to minister to. And you might have an hour or something to read about salvation or you know, so you can't really get that fullness outside of the camp. I mean, I just don't see it nowhere. So while, yes, we know right from wrong outside of the camp, to be able to establish ourselves as priests, prophets, and empress within the order, the camp life is pretty much, I mean, you can't really do without that. I don't know how you could build yourself. It's going to be slow to build yourself outside of living in the camp or in some type of group setting where you're able to really focus on the order and building yourself in the order. You know? Like I know for myself, I've been learning of this order from 2016. And in the time I went to Bobo Hill maybe 3 weeks ago, I spent 6 days there. In 6 days, I got more culture than I would have gotten in any one of them years. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, we can do it, but it's accelerated when we're in a camp life, you know? So I just encourage ones because I know for myself, I would like to live if it's for a short time, but just to stay there for a while to build myself, to get that level of, you know, understanding and clarity, and even the brother and sisterhood that we say we, in order to have an economy. You can't do that outside of the camp. You can't. Zoom isn't going to bring us together that way. We don't wake up together. We ain't praying together. We're not clapping and singing together today. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
I would say they have done that and still failed. So I'm gonna say that
Yes, sir.
alone is not going to work because all those things have existed, right? But look at where people are at. You understand what I'm saying? So it's gonna take a little bit more than that. And I think
Yes.
it takes people understanding that one, it is your nature as an African to think right and be right, you know. You understand? So once you understand your nature as an African, because that's what King Emmanuel came to teach us, right? Our African nature, our creational nature, a lot of this is not difficult. You see what I'm saying? But if you're not trying to hold on to the creational nature of yourself as an African, it's going to be difficult to live right or to your right is a predisposition, you know, of your mind, you know. It's a consciousness. You see it? So wherever you lay your bed, you know, you got to make it work. You know, to feel like we can only make it right if we're on Bobo Hill is to limit our thoughts because Bobo Hill is just about a stop for us in the Western Hemisphere. Africa is the ultimate goal. And if we look at it, right now, we in a sense, we should speak Jamaica, but we should also speak Jamaica as it connects to Africa. So all this infrastructural development that you speak of in Jamaica must be correlated to infrastructural development in Africa. So that's why I talk about establishing an economy that has a budget because we're not building because the father had already.
Yeah, just him no want no part of Jamaica.
Yeah, he said he doesn't want to get the culture.
Africa where I've been.
Yeah, and when I say build Jamaica, don't get me wrong. You know, we're there. We must make it comfortable so we can function. You know, you understand? But we must still have Africa in our view. So all this thing that I'm hearing here, I translated to Africa. I'm already thinking about the Bobo Hills in Africa. You see what I'm saying? In Addis Ababa. You see, that's where my mind is at, my brother, because that's where, to my view, the father was at. I glorify my foundation. The foundation has had everything. You understand? The father gave the Bobo in Jamaica his all. Okay? They need to love him and do the right by him. Okay? True. As simple as that. And I'm not pointing fingers. We're here to help because let me tell you something. It's not easy holding the right in the type of political, economic reality that we live under European domination. All right? So I'm not here to really criticize nobody too tough. I'm just saying, listen, we can always make it better if we adopt certain ways of thinking that reflect our true African nature, okay? And that's what King Emmanuel does. I love him. He put me in my right African mind, you know. His teaching is all I needed, you know, when I came to the Western Hemisphere. Forget college. Nothing they could taught me in Babylon College can correlate to Emmanuel culture. This is all I needed. I tell my people that I found what I've been longing to discover. There's nothing more I need in Babylon, you know, out here in the Western Hemisphere, more than King Emmanuel, to bring this culture home in the right way, within the right energetic frequencies, you understand? So that it can pick up the people at home. Africa doesn't need nothing more than the Africans to change their consciousness, to know themselves to be God, you know, so they can stop looking outside of themselves. You see it? So it's very important, honorables, to just really have a clear Africa vision as it correlates to where we are right now, but you must always see yourself in Africa. Everything we're doing, these things, this infrastructure, this budget, don't think about just building a Empress quarters in Jamaica. Think about the one in Addis Ababa, in South Africa, in Kenya. And you see, as Bobo in America, you know, those Bobo that don't live on the foundation, you must know your strength and how you contribute to the culture. I'm not going to be here teaching too many people about no Bible and how to sing and all that, because I don't do that. But we're going to talk about other things that are relevant to the culture, like economic strength. And that's my strength because I'm in America, yeah? It's a whole heap of money out here. These people owe us, you understand? So I'm not going to have a whole heap of Bible, but I'm going to say, hey, these are economic ideas to advance ourselves, right? So everyone must understand the strength they can contribute to the culture based on their geographic location.
Yes,
you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Honor. Give thanks.
Level of thinking.
I would like to let, you know, open up the floor for anyone, you know, that have any
give
questions.
thanks, my Lord. Bless the Lord, Majesty.
Yes, Honorable.
Glorify. Give thanks for the moment, you know.
Yes,
love
Lord.
from Africa, you know, to the world of people.
My Lord.
Give thanks for the faithful few standing in this time.
Lord. Give
thanks, you know, for this panel, you know. Give thanks to be a part, you know, of this great, you know, gathering, you know. Yeah, for when the saints come marching in, I want to be in that number, you know. And I glorify to be on the shores, you know, of Mount Zion, you know. Yeah, holding the fort, you know. Yeah, holding the banners up high, you know. Yeah, man said must not suffer loss, you know, from victory unto victory, you know. Yes, his army shall he lead, you know. Yeah, man said today, you know, the noise of battle, you know, the day then the victor's song. To him who overcometh, the crown of life shall be. Yes, you know, a crown of life is Mount Zion, you know, the destination, you know. Yeah, give thanks, you know, to be here, you know, patiently waiting, you know, working, you know, organizing ourselves, you know. For man say, organization determines everything. How organized are you today? You know, black man, you know. So I give thanks for his voice. Honorable John Marcus Selassie Jah Rastafari.
Blessed love.
Give thanks for the love of black unity, you know. Yes, give thanks even Africa salute. All Bobo Ashanti royal family, you know, four winds of creation, you know. Yes, what a great day that must be when Africa is free, you know. Yeah,
Like
remember
right now.
UNIA, you know. Yeah,
Right
man,
now.
you know, create a free trade, you know. Yeah,
Right
black
now.
Starliner ships on the harbor, you know, to bring all black people home, you know, man, setting and sample, you know, through the SS Yamaut, you know, the Phillies, you know, all those ships, you know. Yeah, the man show us black economics, you know. So I study the man, you know, for the man said he taught them everything he knows in the message to the people, the African philosophy, you know, and I give thanks to heed to the word. Yes, in this time, you know, even going to the culture, you know, even to the topic of how, you know, the culture has been watered down, you know, how the culture has been watered down from Dada's days, you know, from King Emmanuel days, you know. Yes, we are looking, you know, really, we are interested in that topic because that topic is a broad topic, because that topic, you know, also speaks of repatriation and shows us repatriation, you know, that has taken place already, you know, with the ones coming in from 1992, you know, looking at the mission of the Father, you know, when he sent the warriors, you know, the prophets and the priests, even his own son, you know, priest Jacob, Abuna, Emmanuel, you know, Edwards. Yes, my Lord, looking at that mission, our Father really, you know, had his sight, you know, unto Zion and looking at the gateway, Ghana, you know, yeah, where also the angels have landed, you know, up to this time, you know, and we know even that the new Tafu tabernacle is not functioning at the moment. And you know, looking for Godspeed and reinforcement, you know, in that region, you know, in Africa, for more warriors in the West to come in, you know, through this COVID-19 that show us that we need to come home speedily, swiftly, you know, hurry up, you know, come home and not tarry, you know. Yeah, in this time, I we're speaking about South Africa, you know. We want more reinforcement in South Africa, my Lord, because remember, South Africa has to rise so that even the whole Africa, you know, can reach its redemption, you know. Remember the message to South Africa, you know, from King Selassie through Mandela, you know, through the Makarov, the German Makarov, you know, that set the liberation movement, African National Congress, its military wing of Mkhonto Wesizwe, that was set up in Zambia by Kenneth Kaunda, you know. Yes, that military movement, my Lord, you know, Haile Selassie gave the pistol to Mandela that is still missing up to this day, you know. You know, this pistol has to have an inquest by Rastafari. You know, we have to make an inquest, an investigation as to who has this pistol, because this pistol really represents, you know, a spear of victory for the Black people in the southern region, you know, because even till today, South Africa has not found its true freedom, but its illusion, you know. And this word, even through our father, you know, to Desmond Tutu, you know, because remember Desmond Tutu met our father, King Emmanuel, you know. Yes, and he even sent a message for Desmond Tutu because he called him the minister of justice, you know. So such a man, he's still alive, and we need, you know, the reinforcement, even the regiment, even to send ourselves to his resident, you know, to speak to the man. So we need counsel even from the Crown Prince Jesus, even ancient like the Royal Apostle Priest Headley, you know, Samuel, you know, to tell us the mandate unto Desmond Tutu, who is still alive, because remember King Emmanuel sent word for Desmond Tutu in South Africa. And also in connection to how UNIA was set up by the Most Right Honorable King Emmanuel, the first Black international hero of Jamaica, born in St. Anne Bay, 1887. You know, this man, his inspiration was from Portsmouth, you know, when he was traveling from England, you know, and he was sitting in his carriage with the Black people from the southern region, the Basotho, and he heard about the atrocities, you know, caused by the white race, you know, when the man from the Caribbean who married a Basotho woman, a Lesotho woman, a southern woman, you know, who spoke of how the white man was, you know, tormenting the Black world. That is when Marcus, you know, really saw, because he was coming from his tour from America to England, you know, and then he set up his African Communities League, you know, and the Universal Negro Improvement Association, you know, now standing at the EABIC. So I need to look at how the culture has watered down, you know, in terms of the revolution to the religion, you know, even to the works that has to be done statically, because you can see even the profile picture, you know, the profile picture, you can see that it is Mount Timan Hill when Dada was there, the glory days, you know, you can see the paint, the red, gold, and green, you can see the black 5-point star, you can see the R symbols, you can see the banners, you know, that show us Dada's glory, you know, it show us his levels, you know, it show us the type of statesman that he was, you know. And from 1992, I have to look now where we are today, because it is really, you know, years now,
Painful.
my Lord, you know. Yeah, it is years, you know, that I have been waiting, you know.
Painful.
I is waiting here at home, you know, and I is carrying the fame and shame, especially the shame of Rastafari, you know. And I is standing even patiently, you know, but I say we have to have a network and we have to trust each other a little more, you know, trust the African at home to do some economics with him, you know.
Yes.
Trust that man, make him your investment, you know, because if you make that man your investment plan, then you have an exit plan out of Babylon and you won't tarry till you're better.
Naturally.
You know? But if you place all your eggs in one basket,
around here,
then, you know, when Babylon perish, you go down. Pardon, God forbid. You know, so we have to come to the reality, you know, and be homeward bound. You know, homeward bound is Mount Zion, Africa, you know, where we are. As I've said, right now, it is 2:30 a.m. in the morning, you know, right now in South Africa, you know, Mount Zion. So we say no night in Mount Zion, no night there, you know. Hallelujah. There is no night there. Because we read Revelation 20:2, you know. Yeah, man, we know his name shall be on our forehead, you know, and I shall be called his royal sons and daughters, you know. So I know we glorify the prophecy, you know, and give thanks for those who are standing in this time, you know, even send the word to those who are here, you know. Yeah, send the word to them who came from the West to start working with the natives, you know, to start working with us to come to one understanding, you know, love and unity of Black people, you know. For it makes no sense for Black people to fight one another, you know, when Babylon is oppressing I and I daily. Africa must be free, and it's through one man voice and power, you know. And it is through our unity, you know, when we can stand with each other for one another, you know.
Naturally.
Yeah, for man says one aim, one God, one destiny, you know, to see God. So and I give thanks for the salvation. You know, and I've been on the salvation since the early 2000s, you know, late 90s, you know. Yeah, and I still patiently, you know, upon this journey, because before the priest came in the land in 2004, in South Africa particularly, that is where I started to really milk the salvation, you know, in its fullness, because before, you know, I just listened to the artist give thanks, you know, reggae. You can't ban reggae forever, because in Zion, you know, the youth rise from reggae. And it is that word, sound and power that to make the youth think when they're puffing marijuana, you know, and meditating on the coochie and the chalice, you know, and hear the word of right and read their Bible, you know, they are to hear from the artist. So I in Zion, you know, we don't promote reggae, but we are very conscious of how and what reggae taught us. And during the struggle, especially apartheid in South Africa, you know, yeah, reggae really made us think like revolutionary, not really like religion, because we come from religion. You know, in South Africa, we were like the latest modern slaves, you know, because remember, the South African atrocity is worse. It's worse than the worst genocide ever, because the white man is still in South Africa. The white man is still dominating South Africa, you know. Whereas everywhere else the white man left. And they were fighting Mugabe as the last man, you know, who wanted to take them out. So South Africa is being ignored. So this is the serious thing we talk about. So my Lord and Empress, we have a lot to discuss. I give thanks for this opportunity. Yeah, for my few words, you know, and looking forward to more reasoning. And I give thanks, you know, for this international Congress moving on. Man say from lowland to highland, you know, over mountain, rocks, and valleys. Yeah, man say, hold the fort, King Emmanuel is coming. Yes, I'm holding the fort. Holy Emmanuel is Rastafari. Peace around the world and prosperity in thy palace, my Lord.
Honorable
Prince and Princess of Zion. Love, moment.
Give thanks from the continent straight, you know?
Blessed Lord.
So, yeah, at this point, you know, the floor is open. I would like to give some more ones an opportunity to speak.
Blessed Honorable.
Yes, my Lord. Go through, King.
Blessed.
Blessed.
Yeah, this is Honorable Prophet Jabaka from St. Lucia, you know?
Mom, it could have been.
Say it again, my Lord.
Yeah, this is Honorable Prophet Jabaka from St. Lucia, you know, just giving
yes, Jabaka.
Yes, Honorable
Lord, Prophet Baka.
Oh, my Lord.
My Lord. Bless the Lord.
Yeah, just giving a shout out to the blessing of the meeting, you know, right? Just coming from on a battlefield, you know. Yes, so give thanks for Hollywood of right, you know. Yes, that I just did.
My Lord. Bless
Honorable Empress, you don't know.
Blessed, Saudia.
Goodbye, bien.
That's about it.
Yeah,
that's all the Creole I have. Saudi and La Moi Bien.
Oui, La Moi, goodbye bien.
Stop right there. You're doing too much. Blessed love, my Lord. Love.
Yeah, glorify, you know. Just giving a shout, you know, heal up for the meeting, you know. I'm just listening. I'm just listening out still, yeah. Only Marcus I.
Selassie.
Rastafari.
Yeah, the floor is open still. Anybody who hasn't said anything, if you want something, freedom. And if not, we're gonna seal up soon. I would like for Honorable Priest Alonso to come forward to give us a wrap up. A summary.
Honorable Lord.
Yes, God. That's it.
That's it.
You have the floor, Bobo.
Pardon?
You have the floor, my Lord. If you could just kind of give a little closing word as we seal up.
Give thanks. Give thanks, I guess, just humble and just taking up all the information, all the knowledge, all the good right ideas from, each and every one, my Lord, members. I give thanks. I really verify and I am, they keep the type of works up, And like the Honorable say, we gotta learn to trust one another, get to know one another personally, and and then we could move forward into the other fields. But you can't work with no one if you don't know them, personal level,
Yes.
Because someone message I today, and I don't know, they say they from Ghana and they just say they want to go into business with me. So I was like, go into business with I say, man, I don't want to go into business with someone they don't know, they ain't built a relationship with. That's crazy,
Why? You're hungry?
So we have to build that relationship with one another so we could, trust one another and move forward still. So I give thanks to each and every one.
Yes, sir. Well, give thanks, my Lord. Yeah, it's like even platforms like this can help us to build more solidarity, at least in the way we think. We're not in the same region, but at least we be on the same page as far as what we're doing and what we are culturing, Because, nowadays you ask one question, you get 7 different answers. And they're very different, not even like close to the same. Yeah, and the only way to get the same thought is to have reasoning, Yeah, to reason for right, not argue, not insult. Yeah, with love, Yes, so at this point, I would like to seal up. I would ask whoever the eldest leading priest that's on, if you could just lead us in one prayer to seal up.
God night, Daniel. God night,
Go through.
God night. And give thanks, for came on with flesh and blood on the same way, because that's even a boost for I and I, to know that, he with I and I still.
Yes. We have each other.
Yes.
Yeah, we have each other.
That's the powerhouse. It's like if everyone go against I and I, one team with I feel good.
No, we're all together, we are here for all the same purpose, to love Emmanuel, you know what I mean? And love him well.
And love him well as the unity of Christ and righteousness.
Unity is the acceptable goal. I'm about to scream, family.
Righteousness.
Right, I'm leaving. Love y'all.
Peace and love.
Love y'all so much. Y'all made my evening so much. I love you. I'm gonna say I love you. Pardon me if I don't speak so ital, We have throne room language, I'm not really good with the throne room speech, So I'm gonna just say I love you all. Peace and love so much.
All Emmanuel love and prayer. Peace and love.
Rastafari. Peace and love, family. Stay beautiful, black people. Don't let Corona get you down. All right. Stay up. Love you, John Daniel. Priest Jesse later. Love.
Guidance.
Love.
Blessed.
Priest Headley, you on, my Lord?
Love.
Priest Headley.
Love. I know pleasant it is for us brethren, sisters, to dwell together in unity and love. By the precious assignment upon the head that run down to the beard, even here and there that went down to the skirt of his garment, as the dew of Hermon, as the dew that slept upon the mountain of Zion. But there the Lord come on his blessing, even life and love forevermore. So we hail our God, Celestia, God, Rastafari. Oh, Almighty God,
God,
Jesus
Jah
Christ,
Rastafari, great
the
terrible
God,
God,
Rastafari,
Jah
mighty God. Jah who seat in Zion, reigneth in the heart of all flesh. Oh, the most high eternal Father, glorious God, Rastafari. Hear us and bless us, O Lord, keep us on the fire star. And cause thy holy face shine upon us, thy children, that we shall be saved and redeemed. Oh, the most high God, Jah, Rastafari. Freedom, redemption, international repatriation. Before one of these words pass, heaven and earth shall pass. Love, brother, love, sister, love. We all created one father and mother children, so we all live in love. Set the most high. Jehovah.
Rastafari.
Peace and love. Yes, sir.
My Lord and Empress. Yeah, if anybody that came in late wants to see the fullness of the video, just reach out to me. It's on YouTube. I'm gonna make it private though, so you would have to come through me to be able to view it. I don't want it to just be out there for all to see.
That's right.
Reasoning, you know. But I give thanks for everyone who tuned in. Give thanks for everyone who dialed in, you know, and give thanks for the reasoning, you know. Give thanks for the brotherhood and sisterhood of God, you know, the Black Christ in flesh. Holy Emmanuel, I.
Rastafari.
That's my Lord and Empress, all guidance, all strength and powers. Yeah, divine
Lord.
protection, Lord and
My
Empress.
Lord.
Honorable.
Honorable.
So, my lord, Daniel,
Yes, Professor.
when will be the next Zoom meeting, my lord? Question.
Pardon?
When will be the next Zoom meeting? Question.
The next one is next Wednesday, and we're gonna have a music class on Tuesday. Every Tuesday and Wednesday, music and study group.
Okay, honorable, my lord.
Yeah, and it'll be the same.
Thanks to the wisdom and knowledge, my Lord.
Yeah, same link too, you know. You use the same link you use this time.
True Majesty, love.
Glorify King.
Peace and love, Jabaka.
Yes, my lord.
Peace and love, mighty.
Yes, all of the love, Dada.
Yes, Dada. Give
Majesty.
thanks for that, says my Lord, mighty words of wisdom and knowledge.
Sure.
For powers, you know.
Sure.
Blessed to all, my Lord. Blessed down setting, my Lords and Empress.
Blessed.
Love.
My Lord. Blessed love. Love. Peace.